Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 5th through the 11th. And during that time, we have a waning gibbous moon, which is a really good time of self-reflection and rebirth. Good time for us to get rid of our bad habits and negative thinking and just work through and plow through and try to get these things accomplished that we've started at the beginning of the cycle. We then have the last quarter moon that comes in. We're going to take that card. It seemed like it really wanted to come out. Last quarter moon that comes in on April 10th. And that's, it's still a good time to be buckling down. And we're going to start to kind of do that inward reflection. But things are coming to fruition. And we're trying to start to do those evaluations, like what's working, what's not working, because we're going to be evaluating those in the next part of the moon cycle and then getting ready for the next new moon. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Capricorn. So, as always, please take what resonates but leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And we're going to take two overall energy cards for you. Your hard work is paying off. And the other card that was trying so hard to come out is nothing will come of this situation. So your hard work is paying off. Nothing will come of this situation. If I remember, your reading really stood out last week because of all the goal setting and the achievements and the wow, I remember just being worn out by the Capricorn reading. So let's see. Your hard work is paying off, and you guys really have been working hard. I want you to take a breath, maybe a breather. Let's see what this reading has in store for you, Capricorn, for this week. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder is that you really try to pay attention to the universe when it comes to synchronicity. So, those things that are just out there, this could be repeating number patterns, maybe a conversation that you overhear, a song, maybe a song lyric that pops up as you're switching through your channels. Maybe it's an animal that you encounter. And how I would do that is, of course, not our pets, but animals that you don't see every day. If you see one, think of the attributes of that animal and then apply it to some situation in your life. That's how I use that synchronicity. So that is just my fun weekly reminder for you, Capricorn, is just to be aware of those. If you can do that through all of the hard work that you're doing right now, look around a little bit. All right, let's get into this reading, Capricorn, April 5th through the 11th. Your hard work is paying off and nothing will come of this situation. The present energy right now is, oh, okay, thank goodness you're enjoying the fruits of your labor just a little bit. So hopefully you're taking a little bit of a breather this week. I feel like last week was very, very intense, and maybe no one can keep up that intensity level forever. So of course you do need to take times to really enjoy the fruits of the labor that you were putting so much time and energy into. Take a night off, take a long weekend, do something to relax just a little bit. Your current situation is the Hierophant, so you're definitely seeking guidance about something, and hopefully, in the spiritual realm is typically what this card means. It might be why you're sitting here listening to a tarot reading right now, that you're thinking, something has come up in your life, and you're thinking, okay, well, what do I do with that? And maybe it is some synchronistic thing or some intuitive thing or something, and you're just like, what do I do with this? What do I do with it? So we'll see what that might be for you. At the root of the situation, okay, is maybe some debate has come up about something. So think back through something that's going on with you right now where there's been debate and maybe a difference of opinion, and it's caused you just to think on this thing, whatever it is, a little bit deeper. And you've got the time right now because you are trying to not focus so much on work, but kind of, again, enjoying the fruits of your labor. And it's giving you time to maybe ponder something a little bit deeper than you would normally have time to do. So what is that for you? And, and what kind of guidance are you seeking because of it? In your recent past here is you were at some sort of impasse with making a decision. So something that you had to think through and really think through and make a decision on, but that's in your recent past, but it could be affecting things. Maybe the outcome of that decision is now some cause for debate. It's coming up, but it's kind of maybe making you think and look at things a little bit deeper. Like I said, what is on your mind this week is the Knight of Pentacles. So moving forward with something in the financial or the material realm this week, and some sort of action or activity. This could just be you spending some money, spending some of that hard-earned money on yourself, maybe on others, maybe maybe there's just kind of a bigger purchase than usual going on for you this week. and it's on your mind at least. It could be that you're just kind of evaluating, is it time to do this thing or not? What is just ahead of you this week? Well, there's your intuition coming up with the high priestess. So, you know, ahead of you is maybe discovering some intuitive thing or synchronistic thing that does answer the question for you. I was talking about at the beginning that maybe an animal gets in front of you, and I'm trying to think of an example. I know we were on vacation once and I saw a fox, and it wasn't a place where you would normally see a fox. We were at like a beach location. I was like, I didn't even know those could be here. And I think at the time, and so you try to think of what are the attributes of, they're a little, foxes are a little cunning, a little bit sneaky. And I think I was trying to surprise one of the kids with something, and I was like, oh, that's funny. I need to be that in order to surprise this kid with the surprise, right? So, try to think of if you see an animal like that, and again, high priestess is about those intuitive things that come at us through synchronicity or through feelings. It could be through a dream. um, but make sure you're paying attention to those things this week, because it could have some bearing on some situation that you're involved with. Maybe even this debate, you might be debating if that's even a thing, and that's maybe why you're here. It could be. Let's see. In your advice position here is the Five of Cups. Interesting. So your advice is to really, when this card comes up in the advice position, I think it's something you have kind of to feel a loss. And again, it could have something to do, some bearing with this decision that you made in the past. Maybe you just kind of went in the wrong direction. Maybe you made the wrong decision, and now you're kind of grieving that decision because you have to kind of clean it up and redo it. And there's been some debate of no, 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 and it's kind of, I just feel this is more frustration, even more than loss. It's just like, ugh. But remember that whatever you're feeling frustrated and sad and maybe in grief about, you have some support at your back here. It's not a complete lost cause, but I feel like you are kind of having to let something go and let some of those emotions go. Again, it could be about this decision. Also, I will say that we have a couple of repeater numbers. Speaking of synchronicities, you got 55 showing up and also 22. So look up those as angel numbers this week. What is beyond your control is the King of Swords. So beyond your control is that you will be your normal Capricorn logical self and move ahead um, with whatever. I mean, I don't think you're going to be stuck in these feelings for too long, because you're just gonna, it's beyond your control to just do what you do, which is back to work, get it, get things done, do things the next logical step, head towards those goals that you're really good at and unforgiving about. What is your secret desire? What are you trying to avoid? Knight of Cups. So this would be kind of open action on the emotional realm. Is that your secret desire, is to come to each other with this, open arms of emotion, or are you trying to avoid that? I could see that either one being the case for you this week. And if whatever the answer to that question, which there's no right or wrong, different Capricorns will actually choose this differently. You just need to really ask yourself why you would answer in one particular way. If that's your secret desire, to be an open vessel, to be open emotionally, and that would be, sharing your feelings or hearing others feelings about things, or the opposite is just you're not doing that at all, you're avoiding that at all costs, you don't want to hear it. The one thing to do is to understand why either of those answers is correct for you. Again, there's no incorrect answer, just understand the why behind it. In your outcome position here, another 5. And this one, words are finally exchanged. So we might be, having this debate here, but here is where some words get said. Maybe some feelings get hurt. That could be the case. Also, we do have a lot of 5s on the table. It's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. So look up 5555 for you and see if that has any bearing on your situation. But words are exchanged at the end of the week. So King of Swords does not mess around. He's just very, very logical. Look at all the swords in this situation. Of course, we have a few. One card of wands and cups. Well, no, actually, we do have 2 cups. There's some emotions involved here, some disappointment. See what this intuitive thing is. And again, that could be something synchronistic for you. There could be some feeling involved in this, or maybe where you have some sort of dream about the outcome of this. But if nothing will come of this situation, it could be that there is this decision was made. There was kind of a reaction, like a domino effect is the word I'm looking for, that kind of happened, and now we're just kind of we're getting over it, feeling it, but nothing's really going to come of it. Maybe some words are exchanged at the end of the day, but everybody goes home, everybody takes their swords and goes, and tomorrow's another day. There's nothing that's going to come of it. It was maybe a mistake, and you have to get over it and just move on. So what was hidden from you here this week is the 10 of Wands, which is kind of a push through and finish, which it doesn't look like you're quite there yet. I would say next week this might wrap up. So this energy might linger into next week, where there's maybe still debate, words being exchanged. It could get a little heated between you and others. Again, this could be any situation, a work situation, a family situation. You'll know how it's going to template for you as soon as you recognize the situation here. But again, it's not quite over. I think this might drag on into next week, but overall, nothing's going to come of it. I think you just have to, in the end, to get over it, pick up the pieces, and just go a different direction. All right, let's see what the Soul Oracle deck says for Capricorn as a wrap up card here. Be creative. So, anytime we make the wrong decisions, it's like, well, oops, time to move on. Let's be creative and let's move in another direction. That's just what you have to do. I have no thoughts that you can't accomplish that immediately. To be creative and move on and pick up and just keep moving on. What do you need to do in the way of self-care? We started off the week indulging, and now here we are just kind of back at things, right? Self-care for you this week, Capricorn, is ease. That's making me laugh really hard. Today, I allow life to be easy. Well, can you do that, Capricorn? Can we just allow life to be easy? And I feel like, I want to say, here you are relaxing, and what did you looked at your phone? But don't look at your phone. Put it down. Something's coming in, some communication, and now you've got to deal with it and manage it. So, can we just allow this ease? I literally have this swing in my backyard. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Today, I allow life to be easy. Can we just allow that? Can you? We'll see. Capricorn, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you can take some of this and use it in a positive way in your life this week. I hope you can allow life to be easy just for a week. You can get back at it next week. With that buckle down, goal oriented, go get 'em attitude, and just all those things. I still feel the intensity of the last reading today as I'm doing this reading. Like things are just like you're just wrapping up loose ends, but sometimes it's just too much. You need to relax a little bit. So relax. Stop and smell the roses, as they say. Anyway, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe, I really appreciate that. That's one of my goals. You should understand that. Thanks so much for doing that in advance. Also, if you do that, you can come back next week and we can see if this energy continues or if there's something completely new here for you at that time. So thanks so much, Capricorn. Good luck with this, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.